It's October, and believe me when I tell you, I love Halloween. Now there are many reasons. Free Malwalms, everyone else is orange for a change, the fact that I can sit in a basement on my own while my crippling loneliness consumes me. Free Malwalms, the list pretty much writes itself. But I've never really cared for the scary aspect of Halloween. Don't get me wrong, I like dressing up as a skeleton 7 years in a row as much as the next kid, but I can't sit through a scary movie. I mean, come on, I love horror, I'm Ginger, I was practically born in the depths of hell, but I can't deal with guts, so horror movies are usually a no-go. However, I'm not clueless when it comes to horror. In fact, there was one franchise I really got into when I was a bit younger. A franchise called Five Nights at Freddy's. And come on, if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you know what it is, otherwise you've been living under a rock this past 6 years. Now the series has been popular for quite a while now, and still has a strong fan base to this very day, for better or for worse. So let's dive into how and why this series became so beloved in the first place. This is why Five Nights at Freddy's works so well. Now to find out why the series works, we need to go back to the start. Enter Scott Cawthon, a game developer who started off making Christian adventure games. Now one complaint he got for his most recent game at the time, Chipper & Sons Lumber Co., said that the characters looked like creepy dolls or animatronics. This sent Scott into a huge depression that almost made him quit game development entirely. Until he thought to himself, I can make something scarier than that, and Five Nights at Freddy's was born. Now the original game released in 2014, and was all about taking the role of a night guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a restaurant chain that specialises in children's entertainment with their very own animatronic mascots. However, at night things aren't so pretty. The animatronics start moving towards your office to kinda stuff you inside of an official Freddy Fazbear mascot costume, because reasons.
Now concerning your safety, these characters probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death.
Sounds like a fun time to me. In the original game, there are only 4 animatronics. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and a secret character known as Golden Freddy. How original. But what about the gameplay? Well, you sit on the chair for the entire game inside of one room with no way of being able to move, aside from turning your head. However, you do have buttons to shut the doors and illuminate the hallways with a light. You also have a monitor to access cameras that allow you to see where the animatronics actually are. Unfortunately, all of this uses up power, and if you run out, this happens.
Did I do it?
So basically the goal is to conserve power, survive, and make it to 6 AM. That's when your shift ends. This goes on for about 5 nights straight, and the animatronics become increasingly active, thus making it more difficult as you progress through the game. Then you can unlock a harder 6th night, and then a custom night where you can set the animatronic AI to your own liking. The game is also complemented by its amazing soundscape and atmosphere. I mean, a children's entertainment restaurant isn't exactly the scariest place in the world, but Scott managed to prove us all wrong. The sound effects used really help you feel like you are the night guard in these situations. It reminds me of when I used to go to theme parks when I was younger. I'd be at an arcade playing the machines, feel a tap on my shoulder, and oh Jesus Christ, he wants a photo! And that's not to mention the mystery of the game. If you look around on the cameras, you'll be able to find newspaper articles that report a missing children's incident, where 5 children were lured into a back room by a man wearing a mascot costume, where they were murdered. So maybe the animatronics were possessed, maybe they were malfunctioning. Really, we could only guess. Until the second game came around 3 months later and gave us even more questions to ask. But that's just become a Five Nights tradition at this point. A new game comes along, gives us a few answers, but ends up leaving us with more to scratch our heads at than before, and for some of us that mystery keeps us coming back. There's always something new going on. Sometimes you're in a restaurant, sometimes you're in an underground bunker, sometimes you're even in purgatory, the possibilities are endless. Random example, Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Now comparing the first game to this, you can see tons of differences and changes. In this game, you go down to an underground bunker to perform maintenance on animatronics designed to be rented out for birthday parties. It features fully fledged voice acting, a multitude of tasks that are designed around both light and sound, being able to move to other rooms instead of just being confined to one space, offsetting designs, cutscenes, new characters, animatronics, memes, and lots of lore. So yeah, Scott put the money he made with the games to good use, hiring voice actors and artists and generally improving upon every entry in his own Scotty way. But then FNAF World happened! Alright, I know I've given Scott a lot of praise through this entire video, but he has made his own mistakes. And to some, Five Nights at Freddy's has devolved from a humble indie creation to mainstream pop culture garbage. And you have to understand, these games were and still are adored by many, but unfortunately one thing just sort of led to another. I mean, the overflow of content, the oversaturation of merchandise, the motherload of YouTube Let's Plays. I mean, you couldn't even play through the game and be scared because you'd already seen it happen. Five Nights at Freddy's was everywhere, and not in a good way whatsoever. It went from this niche horror game that people would come to love for its charm and characters and story, to a giant sellout in the eyes of many. That leads us onto Five Nights at Freddy's World, a RPG-styled game featuring cutified versions of these killer robots. I cannot make this up. What was Scott thinking? And if any of you out there like this game, then more power to you, but personally, I just can't stand it. But don't get me wrong, there's a few things I do like about the game. The character roster, the music, the callbacks to Scott's previous work. Heck, I even like the RPG aspect of the game, truthfully, but why did it have to be Five Nights at Freddy's? Unfortunately, the simple answer to that question is money. Think about it, Scott could have made any other RPG with original characters, and the game would have sold just fine. But that's the issue. Fine wasn't enough. Stapling the FNAF characters on the game ensured that more people would want to buy the game, thus more money. That's why FNAF World exists. It didn't need to exist, and this was just an incredibly low point for the franchise in general. Players weren't happy, critics weren't happy, fans were not happy, and everyone just expected nothing to happen. As long as the game is selling well and people are playing the game, they're still making money, why should they care? So just like every other sleazy game developer, Scott just kept the money rolling in. Except he didn't ever do that. This is why Five Nights at Freddy's works, and when he makes a mistake, he owns it and improves upon it. Scott not only refunded everyone's game and removed it from the Steam store entirely, but released it for free on GameJolt for everyone to enjoy. He could have stopped there, but instead he released tons of updates and expansions to the game for free, including new characters, stories, boss fights, and more. He put so much more love and effort into this game, it went from seeming like a cheap cash grab to a genuine passion project. Most game developers set out to make money. Scott lost money because of this game, and kept going, making it the best it could possibly be for his fans. And he gives so much to the community. During a stream from Dorko, a FNAF YouTuber who was raising money for charity, Scott donated over $100,000 to help those in need, and he's done this on multiple different occasions. When the first game came out, many fan games had also released inspired by that game, such as Five Nights at Candy's or One Night at Flumpty's. At the moment, Scott's on a mission to help fund those fan games, so that someone else can have a turn in the spotlight. He even responds to fan mail by sending a letter back and sending free merchandise. In fact, when FNAF 1 first came out, a kid wrote a letter addressed to Foxy the Pirate Fox and sent it to Scott's address. Scott sent back a letter written by Foxy with a rip in the paper because of Foxy's pirate hook. My point is, Scott doesn't and didn't have to do any of this. He could have just been like any other game developer and only respond to money and profit, but Scott Cawthon didn't do that. In conclusion, Five Nights at Freddy's works for multiple reasons. The charming characters, the rich atmosphere, and the story. And even though some elements don't work as well as they used to, like the jump scares, the games are still beloved by lots and lots of people around the world. And that's all thanks to one exceptional game developer, Scott Cawthon. Well, this has been one heck of a ride. Thank you to everyone watching who managed to stick through this entire video. I'm sorry this one took a while to get out, but COVID's really been screwing up my schedule, and now school's starting again, so pushing videos out is going to get a little tricky. However, I'm still trying my best for you guys, so keep an eye out for future videos. And hey, if you're bored of waiting, jump into one of our live streams. We have one every Saturday starting 2 PM UK time. Thanks to my artist Lydia for the security vaults drawing, Crimson for helping me script and edit, and Ben for helping me find tons of Genesis tracks for use in my video. I couldn't have done it without you guys. With all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a like, share and subscribe, as starting off a new channel is pretty tough, so all the support helps immensely. I look forward to seeing you all next time. Now where did I put that?